Hello everybody and welcome back, Mass Effect 2168. So, I have to say, today's actually I thought today was going to be like a super obnoxious day, but it turns out today is like actually not that bad. The website that I've been working on, furiously trying to finish, is going live today. And so I was like, usually last night to this morning, there would be like a lot of like quick little tweaks and changes that you get like texts or emails about, but I've received zero. Things are like, and it's 11 a.m., like zero anything. So, sweet. It's been pretty.
I'm glad you're having a good day.
Right?
I
Yeah.
nearly ran into something that would have cost me a fuck ton. Then I managed to fix it by reading a good thing, and then I got fucked again. So yay!
Oh, jeez. I'm
I'm
dealing
not
with
salty, I swear.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because those things always pop up. I usually deal with those things at night. You know what I mean? Because as much as you hate cell phone automated service thingy, like call-in things, at least like you can do those with like headphones in, and you know you can like not hit the world. But then again, I usually have the baby during the day, so I can't really argue with a person with a baby, you know. Anyways, I hope that works out, Rick. But speaking of Rick having a bad day, Cattle is on the table. And not feeling so hot. How you doing? How you doing there, buddy? You actually come to the next day, so you know, like kind of flash forwarding a bit. Cracks is sending out a message and whatnot. Cracks, you can get to your message in 1 second because you're not going to get a response right away, anyways. But the next day, you were going to finally come to, but like one of those, you're gonna have to stay bedridden for a little while. Because, like, holy shit, you've never felt such pain before. The good news is they didn't hit your face. The bad news is they hit everything else. So, luckily your armor will be able to cover up most of the damage that they did. But, like, you coming to and, like, looking at yourself and literally just seeing, like, you can feel, you know, you have to be very, very tender with it. It's very tender. You have to be very approach it very gingerly. But you can feel like the edge of like where your body is and where the goo starts, and you understand how the stuff works, and it works like stem cells, where it's literally changing to match your DNA, and it's regrowing at a very rapid rate all the parts of you that's missing. So you understand that you're going to be fine. But that doesn't change the fact that right now you're not. In theory, somebody could just like shove their hands through your chest and push all that goop out the other side, and you would just be dying again. So, Cattle is very, very aware of the implications of everything going on here. So, Cattle, react.
Right. Is there anyone around me?
When you first come to, I imagine you can hear through the kitchen and into the cockpit. You can hear Tremi kind of like cussing as she's working on something inside there. Unfortunately, she's a good pilot, and you were able to switch things out. But it's one of those things where even though you switch things out to be her benefit, Cattle still always has to like go and tweak things consistently, and it keeps her happy, which keeps the ship running smoothly. You know what I mean? And so since he's been down and not like doing that like back end work for her, she's kind of in a grumpy mood working on things, and you can hear her cussing over there. You don't hear or see Winnie anywhere, so she's very likely downstairs working on something in the engine room or the workshop, whatever it is. You're not sure where Cracks is, but it doesn't change the fact that you hear every footstep he makes. Go ahead.
Yeah.
He's probably on the bridge.
I don't feel any urge to get up, actually. Am I on a table or am I in a bed?
You're in your bed. Your bed is messy. Nobody's been nice enough to change the sheets for you.
I don't even care. I tuck myself in nicely. I'm gonna make a blanket fort here, damn it.
Nice.
I need a safe space now.
Nice. Okay, so you just kind of stay there and wait until somebody comes back by your way before you say or do anything? Sure. So eventually, what's his name is going to be able to come by. Cracks is the one that's moving around the most. Will come by. Cracks, you're walking by, and you can kind of see Cattle is moving more than before. And when you go and look over at him, you can see he's kind of like maybe looks over at you or in your direction.
I'm hiding under the blankets. If they can't see me, I can't see them.
Crack's just like, God, I want to say he's like brushing his teeth, but that's a human thing. Yeah, Crack's, just doing like
He's
some
polishing
basic,
his hammer.
yeah, just basic hygiene thing, like he's washing his horns with a washcloth or as a head plate. Just like looks at Coddle underneath the blankets.
Okay.
And just like walks away.
Awesome. So what was that message that you wanted to send out? Tell us that, Frank.
Okay, so because, the guy said, hey, you should talk to Arya about your missing friend. Yeah, Crack's just, as formally as he can, just sends her a space email.
Yep.
Basically saying, have you taken and/or kidnapped and/or abducted and/or just, he opened up the thesaurus of words for kidnap. And/or have seen this person, and he just posts a picture of Antaria.
Okay. So,
Probably a picture of her butt.
so you post a picture to Antaria, and you send that message out.
Yep, to Arya.
Yep, and that was sent obviously the day before me saying
Yeah.
like cattle open up and whatnot. You didn't expect a message, a response right away, and so you're still waiting to hear one. And we'll get to that in a moment. So, Winnie, what are you taking care of? Is there anything specific you're working on?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna work on modifying that cooling thing.
Sure. To
My
make
gun.
sure it can like retrofit to your gun.
What is it called again? A cooling
It's a
cartridge?
Yeah, it's
Cooling-
like a coolant system. What is it?
System.
Just like a weapon coolant system.
Okay.
Stationary weapon coolant system. So, SWS. SWCS? SWCS.
I'm not gonna do acronyms. It's confusing. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm working on that.
So you're working on getting that thing done. So eventually, another day later, Cracks and Cattle, you actually can get out of bed today and start moving around if you wish to do so. But because things are starting, like the actual outside of that is starting to get a little bit harder. Like the exposure to air and everything is starting to put like a crust over it. But on top of that, it's also finally starting to take on like the actual like solidity of bone. You can start to feel like there's a little bit of like almost the texture of skin going in there. Like has a little bit of a squishiness to it. And on your insides, you can actually feel like you're breathing a little bit easier. You're still pissing blood, but it's not as bad as it was before. It's more of like a faint pink as opposed to like a red. Still very painful. You can get up and move around today. Cracks, you actually do get a message back, but the message comes in the form of a Taurian coming up to the ship, pounding on the door.
Okay.
I'm not home, Cracks. You go open it.
I mean, Cracks is, obviously in charge. Yeah, he keeps the door into the ship closed. Or I don't know how to say it. The inner door. He keeps that door closed.
So you go through the
And
first
he
door, shut it, then go to the second door and open it. Yep.
That's the English I wanted to come out of my mouth. Yes. Yeah, and he opens it up, looks at the Turian, just.
Yep.
Hey.
So this Taurian, unlike most of the other people that you've seen when you've come through this area so far, he's actually dressed in very well kept, very clean, very good armor. You know what I mean? It's very clear that he is a mercenary that does very well for himself, or maybe works for an organization that has standards, or whatever the case may be. And he stands.
Standards?
Yeah, standards. He stands
On
there and
Omega.
says, "Are you Cracks?" I gotta get a voice modulator for these Taurians.
Cracks doesn't say anything, just nods.
You sent a message to Arya.
Nods again.
Arya's business is her own. Why are you poking about?
Just looks at the Turian. Shrugs. We have a job. She's a crewmate. It would be nice to know where she is or who has her, just so we can do our own business.
Why did you bring a huntress to Omega?
She's working with us, and we came to Omega.
Arya doesn't like it when huntresses show up onto Omega, and she doesn't know who they are.
So she took her. Got it. How long?
If things are fine, another day or so.
Krax nods and says, reasonable, understandable, apologize.
He's, you were very respectful and whatnot, so he just gives you like there's no emotion on his face.
Same with the Krax.
But yeah, he gives you a nod and he turns and walks off.
Yep. Krax would have tried like the handshake, but just got left hanging again.
Imagine, he doesn't even look at your hand when you do it. But again, it wasn't like a rude thing. It was like I don't even know what to do with this thing. So
well, whatever the Turian version of a handshake is.
Oh, if you go to give like a Turian goodbye as opposed to
yeah.
Okay.
Because Krax he's definitely worked with criminal organizations, which is why he's just being like, I kind of just got to be placid and not aggressive, or else we'll all die.
Now, if you're giving like the Turian version of just like a firm handshake or whatever, absolutely. What would the Turian version of a firm handshake be? I'm curious about that. I'm gonna let chat decide that one, as long as it's not too goofy. All right, so moving on.
They're birds. They flip a bird.
They just let you go. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. No, I thought it was like the arm clasp.
Oh yeah.
Like the old Roman arm clasp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a Quarian thing with the 3 fingers. Like, I got you.
Well, it's because
What's
they're
up? Like you grab like the forearm, kind of like that.
Yeah, it's because the Turians are based off Greco-Roman culture, so that's why I figured. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt again.
No, you're perfectly fine. And yeah, honestly, it sounds really good. So we might end up going with what that is. But you give your appropriate goodbye. He turns and he walks away. And then you're back onto the ship with the information that in a day or two, Antari should be able to be released to the ship, assuming that things are okay. So, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, that's, he closes the door, goes back inside, says, yeah, Taria should be back in a couple days, maybe. Or she's dead.
Krax, don't say that.
Krax.
Tremi will actually chime in and say, with Arya, probably dead.
Krax, like,
Tremi!
It's like, that was, you should have kept the fact she was a huntress a secret.
All right, so you guys are there. Cattle, do you just want to stay bedridden for the next couple of days?
I have no desire to move unless I have to. Everything hurts.
Sure. So you guys, you stay bedridden, just trying to heal up as much as possible. 2 days later, we're gonna bring the camera to them. Then 2 days later, your insides finally feel like they've actually finished. Like your organs are almost done solidifying and defining themselves and whatnot inside. They're almost done regenerating. You've been healing for, at this point in time, 4 days. You feel like they're almost done, but your outside is still kind of soft. You know what I mean? Your bones are still more like cartilage than bones, and your skin is still loose. It's still kind of goopy. One of the things you do know, or actually you don't know, roll me a no check on Metagel. No intelligence. Lore intelligence. I should just change that back to no. Very good. So one of the cool things about Metagel is that it heals wounds extremely well. And it does a great job of keeping you alive when you should otherwise be dead, healing you up, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. However, it doesn't worry about things like cosmetics. So it tends to leave behind, I'm going to use the phrase skin tags, but they're more like large, like pocketed areas, or like, much like when you have pizza, it has like the air bubble inside of the crust of a pizza. It leaves behind things like that can either have literally like a cavity of air inside of it, or it could be like a skin flab or whatever that grows. It does not come out cosmetically well, and sometimes the coloration can even be off of what your natural skin is, which is why usually what you'd want to do is reach out to a type of surgeon, usually some by lasers and some other slight genetic treatment, to reform you back to the way that you're supposed to be. This is underneath your armor, so I don't know whether or not you care to do it, but you do know that the sooner, the better when it comes to this. While everything's still kind of loose, it's easy for them to operate on. If you do it after it's already, then it's like an actual surgery. You know what I mean? Like right now, this isn't actually your flesh, so it can easily just be cut away. You can give Krex a knife and ask him to do it.
I already died once this stream. Well, almost.
Antara might be able to do it in a couple days.
Nah, you need like a proper medical. Yeah, I'll go for that because I don't know. It's important to Cattle.
So
His self-image has already been destroyed. No need to leave marks.
So wanting to like stretch your legs a little bit, you want to go and find a medical facility that can kind of handle that thing for you. Oh, who'd have thunk that Omega Station has a place where not only do they sell Metagel, but where they can actually treat the post-Metagel effects. Gotta love
How
Omega Station.
convenient.
Huh? How convenient.
How convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you actually are able to go and find one of these places. Now, do you go alone or do you bring Krex with you?
I'll bring Cracks if he wants to.
Probably a good idea.
Sure. Winnie, you going
Still-
along as well and just leaving Tremy with the ship, or?
I'll probably stay on the ship.
Okay. So you stay on the ship and continue working on the things that you're working on, and you head out there in your currently damaged armor, because you haven't had time to like, give it to Tremy to work on yet. Winnie. But we'll worry about that while you guys are flying. So
I would actually probably be wearing basic armor while walking there then.
Sure. So you actually remove your light armor and put on basic armor instead, because your light armor has like big gaps in it that are injured. Like it's like the basic reworking of it is like moving plates over to cover different areas, so it's not completely exposed. Like you literally remove plates off and they magnetically seal and clink together, electromagnetically seal and clink together. But it's still injured, so it doesn't protect you as much, especially since you have to move plates over. You get to the facility that we were just referring to, and they offer to take care of the treatment for you. They tell you it's going to be 250 credits to get it done, and you're going to have to be there overnight.
That sounds acceptable.
Okay? They ask you if you want any more treatment, like expediting the healing process, or if you're fine with it.
I think it should be fine. Like if we fly to where we're supposed to go, I think it'll just heal on its own.
Okay? Awesome. So it's going to be 250 credits, and Krex, do you spend the night with him there?
Oh no, Krax is not
That's
spending
like
the
a
night with him. You know, but Krax is.
I
actually
wouldn't
gonna
expect
pay
him to.
out of the pool.
I'm definitely paying it out of the
yeah.
ship pool, yeah, because I put all the
no,
things
not the
Cattle
ship.
earns in the ship pool.
The medical pool.
The medical pool.
Oh, the medical pool. Well,
You know, the
I'd
one
have
that
taken my
Krax
50
set up
credits
for.
back from that because I would have been very grumpy about you literally stealing from me.
I mean, Krax saved you, so.
Yeah, and he's kind of glad about that, but at the same time, I don't appreciate you stealing my stuff. Especially when you're trying to sell your stolen loot to me for like premium value.
No, he's not trying to sell. He's just going to keep increasing the price because he doesn't want to sell it.
So one of the things that they tell you, though, is since Krax isn't going to stay with you, if you want to hire guards, you can hire guards for the night at 50 credits each.
I would have brought
Krax.
literally nothing else but my basic armor and the money for the treatment.
Okay?
Well, Krax is the one carrying the money.
Yes.
So Krax, whether Connell says yes or no, is paying for 2 guards.
Okay, there you go. So you pay and have 2 guards that watch over him, and the guards are loyal, so they're going to watch over you and make sure that you are good to go. Aaron, I'm seeing you drinking from your mug, and I just remembered I have a mug of yours from last week when you very sweetly got me coffee before the session. So,
Oh.
so remind me between this campaign and all these later to give you your mug back.
Alright.
All right, so you pay for the guards, you heal up, you're good to go. They do it's like a laser treatment skimming of your body. One of the first things they do is they take a DNA sample of you, and they use that to do a mock-up of what your body is supposed to look like based off of how the algorithm plots out the way that your DNA is saying it's supposed to look like. And then they just laser skim everything to be in that shape, including carving out imperfections that you had along the way. The downside is you don't look exactly as you did, like when you're all done healing, as you did immediately before you got injured. The good side is that's because all old scars and whatnot that you had before are gone. Those are not part of your DNA, so those scars are literally removed, which is kind of cool. And they do this whole thing. It actually is an excruciatingly painful process, and if you inquire as to why do I have to be awake for this, can't you please put me under? They tell you 2 things. One, putting you under is significantly more expensive. Because they have to use a specific type of drug that is going to react well with all the other drugs that they're going to go with in here. And 2, putting you under has a really good chance of you things not working the same because even though they have a drug that'll do it, it doesn't always work well with the drugs they're using to make this whole process work in the first place.
I was more expecting him to say, yeah, if we put you under, it's harder to tell if we accidentally kill you.
It's funny, I'm actually going to react to something Ollie said in chat really quickly. Ollie, you realize that you can disable Twitch extensions, right? For you personally, there's a little, it looks like a puzzle piece, and you click that, and you press disable extension, and then you don't have to deal with extensions, if you choose to not be a part of them. Alright, so, nope, they didn't say anything like that. It was literally just, complications versus money. The complications might be made up just to get more money out of you. Who knows? But it's excruciatingly painful, and in the morning, you are sore. But things are looking better, at least, and still more solid. When you get back to the ship, Antari's already going to be there. As a matter of fact, when Antari comes onto the ship, I imagine the first person that would have noticed her would have been, let's go, Winnie. So Winnie would have been outside of where she's usually working and whatnot, up in like her bed area, probably like getting ready to go down for the day, night, whatever, when all of a sudden the door opens up and Antari comes walking in.
I mean, Winnie would probably just like jump up and just like go run and hug her. And she'd be like, Antari, I thought you were dead.
No, just business, unfortunate business. We've stayed here longer than I wanted to.
Speaking of unfortunate business,
you couldn't have left a note, sent a call, an email, anything?
That would have been preferable, but I wasn't allowed to.
she left weapon mods and drugs instead. What are you complaining about?
Oh yeah. What
That's
were
a clear
these?
signal.
And, like she like brings out the things. Did I steal this from someone, or were they yours?
I don't even know to which you're referring.
She would show like bring them out.
Okay, so she would look at the stuff, and I can actually roll for her, cause I have control. I have the power. All right, character. It's going to be a lore intelligence check. Lore intelligence with a bonus. Unfortunately, she's like, because the DC was 10, so she's looking at the red powder, and she's like, this seems familiar. I've heard of this before. I'm not entirely sure what it does. I have a feeling like it has something to do with biotics, though I cannot recall exactly. I know I've heard of it before, though. I don't know what it is.
I just want to point out our lore checks for this were literally 7, 8, 9.
Oh,
Yeah, we
nice.
suck.
Nice.
Well, if it's biotic, do you want to hold on to it? I don't really think any of us have a use for it then.
It is, however, a drug, and so I don't know how I feel about it. I'll keep it with my supplies, but I
Definitely
don't know.
not interested in that.
I
The
don't know how I
goddess would
feel
not
about that.
approve.
Yeah. That's me saying, I don't know if Ollie would take drugs. I don't know. He has long
Ollie
hair,
now.
but I'm not going to judge based off that. So,
Okay, well I guess this other stuff is just mine then? Would you like the riddle?
So she does look at the riddle to see what that says. And it says that the Silent Queen goes twice. What is it? It says the Silent Queen's night goes twice before the Silent Queen. The move is yours. So she looks at that, and she looks at it like introspectively for a while. Like she's really thinking about it. Remember, she's an Asari, so sometimes like when they think about things, a gap of time can go by. Whereas like you might be thinking like, but it's just her processing
Right.
it. So
I mean, she's got 100 years of memory to dig through.
So she thinks about it for a period of time, and when she kind of like comes out of it, you can tell that it feels like it means like something to her, but you can already immediately tell by her facial expression it's not something she's willing to share.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, I don't really need these either because they're very simple, and I'll hand the plans over to her too.
The plans?
These weapons.
Oh
plans.
yeah, the weapon mods. You're welcome to throw them on one of her weapons if you'd like.
Yeah, I can do that.
Sure. Which I'm trying to look up Atari one more time. I think she just has a pistol, doesn't she? Oh, she has a shotgun too, I think. What does she have? Holy shit, she has a lot. Let's see, she has a heavy pistol. You can totally throw that on the heavy pistol and give her a lot more ammo on that thing.
Yeah,
Or on the, I think you already modded her shotgun, didn't you? Yeah.
Mhm.
So you can load that onto the heavy pistol. Cool. I will double her ammo for that. And
Cool.
she's good to go there. Cool. Because those usually have, what, 6 shots? So that gets you up to 12, I believe?
5.
Oh, so it gets her up to 10 shots. That's a lot with a heavy pistol. Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So again, she'll hold on to the drugs at least for now, while she kind of like contemplates what they are and maybe tries to find out more of what they are. But if I remember correctly, she's not into. She's kind of like against that sort of stuff because it clouds the mind.
Very against it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very glad that you're not dead.
So she says, same. I wasn't sure when they took me, but it seems as though Arya is her name. Arya wasn't a fan of a huntress coming aboard the station that she didn't know who I was. I had no intention of ever coming to this station, so I guess we could thank Cattle for this experience.
Oh, Cattle almost died.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's healing.
How?
He's off
how
getting
did he
surgery.
survive?
Cracks gave him Metagel?
Oh. And I
So-
suppose it's fortunate that we had that duplicitous action. But for the duplicitous action, he had come up with the trick that we did to the humans before.
He paid us Metagel to sign on for the mission to begin with, it's fine. But yes, having more is good. Cracks probably has it.
I think Krax has like been working on like a montage video of the fight from the security footage, and he just like sends it to Antaria to like explain what happened.
But he's using all free to download software, none of the pay for
Yep.
stuff. So instead, he's just putting viruses onto the ship.
Oh, of course.
It's all free
Oh,
you know.
software. So, oh god.
Cat can take care of that.
Make free montage video online free.
There's a Bandcam logo in there somewhere. Nobody knows what it is, but it's there.
No, there's a Bandicam logo. There's a Fraps logo.
All right. So, anyways, you guys eventually so one of the things you also notice is that Antari seems tired. Like whatever she had gone through, it didn't seem like it was very fun for her. But you know, she's rather stoic in general, so she doesn't like make this very apparent. It's just Winnie could pick it up off of her. So she clearly is just kind of going to go to rest. She will see Cracks first before she goes to rest, seeing that you obviously were concerned. She will ask, "Where's Cracks?"
Probably in his room.
Yeah, I don't really
Or
know.
on the
Is
bridge.
His room?
He's sitting on a pile of loot.
So
We can
she'll-
ask him.
She'll
Which,
go
like, points to the
downstairs and
com.
make her way through all of the boxes and everything that are down there to go over to where Crack sleeps on his pile of guns over by the
Yep.
doorway down there. And it's just to go see how Cracks is. And so come into the room where she sees him sitting on his Omnitool with like a little display up on the thing in front of him. No idea what he's doing. It just looks like he's looking at some sort of footage. She'll just, give a quick knock to get his attention and just say, Cracks, I just wanted to let you know that I was aboard the ship and everything's fine.
Krax nods, holds out the Omni tool where it's a slow motion scene from the
Oh no.
security footage of Connell getting shot.
I was
knew you were gonna
inside
say
the
it.
ship. You can't see that.
You know what? She
Well,
actually
the
would,
ship has cameras.
she actually would react to that slightly. She actually would kind of be like, "Oh, I should probably check on Cattle then when he comes back to the ship after his surgery then." and she'll like one of those like she goes to leave, but then like turns back and watches for like a couple more moments of like just as the footage
It's
plays
like
out
on a
with her mind.
loop,
Yeah. It's like
just
one of
like
those,
the ship camera.
It's
Yeah.
like a shipwreck. What is it? A train wreck. Like she can't look away, and then eventually she like, gets the willpower to like turn and walk away from the situation. And she'll do the same thing with Tremi, where she's just kind of like, "Hey, I'm here. Everything's fine. Don't worry. It's all good." And she's actually gonna go and pass out.